All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the broadcast here. Complexity versus Team Leviathan. I'm Breaky CBK, joined by Z-Rock. You're tuning into the Star Ladder I-League Invitational, Season number 3, North American Qualifier. So we got game number 2 here now. 1-0 lead for Complexity, of course. And I say, of course, I mean, it was a pretty good stomp there in the game number 1, and, you know, maybe the expected result, too. But at the same time, Leviathan, we know that they definitely are a good team and could at the very least force the third game. Not so surprised, perhaps, take it even. But the way things looked in that first game, definitely Complexity doing as expected and making a statement there. So, Z-Rock, we already got an Ancient Apparition first pick, and now Night Stalker coming out for Leviathan. And they're going to take Silencer themselves now.
Which is interesting, given that Complexity's been running it kind of as a hard 5, essentially. And their hard 5 is already committed. It's going to be AA. So, bit interesting to see LVT pick it up that early. Hopefully the Night Stalker goes a little better for Nusham than the Earthshaker did. Maybe he can find some a little more connection in the early game. He's basically gonna have to do more than Z-Freak for them to have a chance in this game. We saw how much Z-Freak did to impact the mid lane and even his safe lane. Managed to get a gank off there a couple times. He's just running rampant. So definitely look to see what they pick up for Z-Freak, and that'll be the focal point of the matchup for sure.
Whew. Underlord.
There's our NA hero.
Underlord. It has been a long time since I personally have seen Underlord. I mean,
DC played it yesterday.
Did they? Okay, so
yeah.
I didn't catch that series.
10 seconds
they played it against Complexity then, because yeah, they played them right. So, all right. So is this maybe them reacting to that? You think? Is this a little bit like it worked well against us? Let's run it today.
Possibly. I mean, NA is the only region I've seen actually pick this in the last few months, really. But it does have some cool interactions, especially with whatever mid synergy you want to pick up. If you get anybody that gets a Yules, you can guarantee a double root. You can basically pit a Malice, burn them, then Yules them, and then they get re-pit a Malice as soon as they come back down. Definitely some interesting synergy there.
Yeah.
It's just an incredibly strong tempo hero, though. It makes people commit 3 heroes to the bottom lane most of the time. And if he gets left 1v1 against the carry, he can usually force them out. It's absolutely a tempo-based hero, and one I think it's going to work really well for Complexity.
10 seconds.
I love the hero. I actually played a fair amount myself, especially if I end up playing the offlane role. It's probably my go-to with Darks here, but not that people really care. But anyways, so I like the hero, but again, I'm just a little bit surprised to see it because the overall, we really don't see a lot of it. But hey, you know, they played against it yesterday, and I agree with you 100% that it fits their play style. Something I always stress about Complexity and Kyle as a captain is that they're all about the team fights, the objectives, getting that done when it comes to items and lineups especially. So Underlord really fits that theme very, very well. So I'm looking forward to them using the teleport aggressively, not as a reaction tool, but rather we push this tower, let's port to the bottom lane now, or the top lane, whatever, and now let's push that lane and tower as a result.
Yeah, that's like the perfect scenario, right? If everything lines up, you're able to do that. That's great. But if things kind of fall off the wayside, the TP can actually be a bit of a struggle to use effectively. Definitely curious to see how familiar and how comfortable they are with that going forward, but the reason it doesn't see play in competitive very often is it doesn't fit the role you want out of your offlaner most of the time. Like, NP is hyper mobile and can go help everyone out as early as, a minute or two in. Most offlaners, you get a blink on them, they have some sort of big CC. Pit of Malice is a fairly long cast time. You can't really blink pit a team. It just doesn't work. And then after you've used pit and Rain of Fire, you just walk around hitting people. It's just a little too binary for offlaners right now. That's why it doesn't see playing competitive. But yeah, I mean, the NA region, while having some very good players, has often been more of a brute force meta, I'd say, versus like a thought-heavy one like China would play.
Okay.
So it does fit into the way that NA players like to play. It's also stupid strong in pubs. You are right. My brother went from 4 to 5K just on Underlord in like 2 months.
It is potentially really strong in both the laning presence and he can almost build into a semi carry, even a hard carry technically, because with his skill set, with the passive especially. I mean, he could hit really hard if you actually choose to build him that way. And I think he has talents to even help with that as well. I think he has like an attack speed talent thrown in there.
Yeah,
so.
in the competitive game, what we're gonna see is a very, very tanky Underlord. He's gonna go stuff like mech, pipe, maybe even Vanguard into like a Anything super tanky, just
Crimp
to make it very
Guard.
hard. Yeah,
That's
that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I could tell.
But yeah, we'll have to see. I imagine it's just going to be a beefy frontliner.
10
I wouldn't be
seconds
surprised if
remaining.
that sniper potentially sees play again here from Complexity. It pairs super
5
well with the lineup
seconds
they have going
remaining.
so far.
Doom is a little curious to me because it doesn't. It's more of like it's more of a gank theme, but at the same time, I guess he could also bring usefulness to pushing, devouring specific creeps, specifically that Satyr. I know you're even mentioning. I believe it was yesterday. So
And pushing you on a Direwolf 30% damage is just nuts.
that too. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see what they want to do with it. I'm imagining it's going to be a Z-Freak Doom, would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, you figure Moo's going to be playing the Underlord here, so.
Unless Chessie wants to
Radiant
play
team
carry Doom.
back.
But, okay,
No.
that seals
He's going to
that
be
out.
playing carry Lifestealer here.
So they need a delivery method badly,
Yeah.
though. Puck needs to be the ban, I think, out of Leviathan. That would be the most obvious one for me here.
Well, you don't mean teleporting in with Underlord as the Lifestealer infests him is a good
10
strategy?
seconds remaining.
Sounds awful in a lot
Hold
of
on, guys. I'll be
ways.
there in 5 seconds.
5
Hopefully they don't see me
seconds
coming. Yeah,
And it would
sounds
actually give
horrible.
them a setup for AA, because right now they're kind of
Dire
lacking on
team
ways to
back.
get that AA ult up. But yeah, the Puck is the very, very obvious choice. But Complexity should have something in mind as an alternative, because that was the most spelled out ban I think I've seen in years.
Storm Spirit? Is he good in this game? Yeah, it's kind of brutal against the
I
silences.
mean, Storm Spirit is
yeah.
good in this game. Is Storm Spirit good?
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, no, this is a bad Storm Spirit game.
5 seconds
Um,
remaining.
I actually don't hate it. There's a
There's
lot of silences sure
lot
to
of
play around, but
silences, yeah.
but you're so all in on this team anyway. You're not looking to play a jumpy around skirmishy Storm. It's like ult halfway across the map into it, press Q once, and hopefully you've won the fight. But
Okay.
it would be really hard to play the standard Storm that you're used to seeing people
Yeah.
play.
Trying to think of other options because yeah, they banned the Puck, which would have been great as you mentioned. Storm Spirit's maybe a little bit
TAs.
risky. Is TA really a good Lifestealer port? I mean,
Yes,
vehicle?
you just blink meld strike somebody. They're at a bunch of minus armor, and then you insta give them with Lifestealer. It's not
Okay.
quite as good as a hard
Dire
stun,
team
but
pick.
you could go like Mag.
yeah, I mean, any hero that gets a blink naturally is going to be a
Radiant
decent. So
team
you're right,
pick.
TA could work. Okay.
They don't care.
No, they
All right.
don't. That's
So, without the
right.
infest synergy here, I imagine Lifestealer is going to be looking to pick up some, probably just like Armlet SNY, maybe even a Vlad's. Doom probably going to go drums and
10
Underlord,
seconds
you know,
remaining.
something tanky and team oriented like a mech, and they want to push towers down. Like
Five
their goal is going to be to
seconds
sweep the
remaining.
outer towers by like 20-25 minutes.
yeah, that's I can't recall the last game. Honestly, if ever I've seen a game where a Lifestealer's in it and they just don't have any good vehicle for that hero. It feels just so weird seeing that. But I mean, you don't need to just pick up the hero only for the infest spawn. I mean, just in general, having the rage is obviously going to be nice, and a hero that
And
can also
Doom
join
is
the team.
Doom is not the worst delivery method. If he goes blink, he can just blink Infernal Blade somebody. It is a little mini stun, gives Chessie time to get out and get on them. But it's just not what you'd expect with like a Slardar or the more common delivery method, Spirit
Yeah.
Breaker.
Well, Weaver, the final pick, by the way, on the side of Team Leviathan here. So it's going to be Sammy Boy playing the Bloodseeker. BSJ will end up on the Weaver, I'm guessing. There you go. Makes it official. So, mid-matchup, Viper versus Bloodseeker. How does that work? Because both are usually considered very good matchups,
It's
no matter the
cancer.
case. But
It's Viper leaning until Bloodseeker gets help kind of thing. Like, Sammy Boy needs to be very confident. It's actually real similar to the last matchup, where if Sammy Boy gets roamed on too much and falls behind, the lane is super miserable. But if he plays very aggressive, doesn't miss CS, so that he's keeping his life total up, he can do okay in it. It's still definitely Viper leaning, but we'll see.
all right, Limp going to be playing it here. So Sammy Boy, again on the Bloodseeker. It was a rough matchup for him last game, and proved to, being a losing effort just across the board. Nothing really going right for Leviathan. We'll see if they can change it up here in game number 2
Prepare for
now
battle.
against Complexity. Doom, early port once again. Getting over here, you see Silencer on the other side. Getting up here quickly. Going to block one camp of the Sentry. Going to get some vision down with another. Right as Kyle runs in. So I don't think you would have seen that. So some nice warding done by Master Kenshiro here on the silencer. Z-Freak, did he get in? Yeah, he placed his ward deep.
His name is still Slayer. That has to be a joke name.
Slayer, is this supposed to be the actual name?
I don't know. Slayer was what he was when he was on Noble Wings' team. And
Okay.
all of the other little amateur teams he's played on.
Master Kenshiro. Excited to see Underlord, though. Again, being played by the one and only Moo here. Setting up the offlane, of course, has the poor man shield, some tangos. Usual build there, Limp. A couple of shared tangos, going to be picking up his own bounty rune, of course. Doesn't seem like much contesting going to be going on, unless Nightstalker makes his way over here, but even if he does, well, actually Complexity's kind of just leaving it. They're not even going to risk it. Interesting.
Losing a bounty rune is not that big of a deal anymore. It was really bad when it gave a lot of experience, but now that it doesn't give any, it's really not that big of a factor.
That's because of lane swapping. That's why they were moving so much at the beginning there. They got some kind of information, I'm guessing, from this ward that was placed up here by Z-Freak that sees what's going to be an aggressive lane coming out. Silencer and Weaver up here. So, sending a Lifestealer bottom instead. Going to have Underlord
This
up top.
Weaver has the chance to go off in this game. It's going to be very hard for him to find kills and put out reasonable damage against this tanky of a lineup, but they have so little control for the Weaver itself.
Well, you see the Firestorm coming out already, but you're right. When it comes to stun lockdown, this is not a good stunning team. I mean, Cold Feet's not going to do anything against Weaver. They have a lot of
You're
slow,
just going to have
but
to doom him. Yeah, I mean, that's your primary doom target every fight.
yeah, that makes sense, because really, who else are you going to get value on? I mean, I guess maybe the Batrider in reaction, but yeah, Weaver definitely feels like the good target there. Somebody's TPing in. That would be Batrider. And actually, Underlord going to start feeling some pressure. He's going to go buy TP. Yeah, they can't stop it. So he's just do as much damage as you want. I'm going to port bottom, and I'll see you guys there. Middle lane, what the hell is this about? God, they're just hugging
They're
the
just
tower.
laning.
Yeah. 2v2. Wow, running out Bloodseeker. Uh-oh. He's going to live, but man, that was a lot of damage.
He had the Fairy Fire, he died. He got to 69 HP. Would have died without the Fairy Fire. Yeah, Infernal Blade does shocking amounts of damage, and you don't ever really expect it until you already die to it. But
oh, he's having some trouble here. Limp again, not afraid to go deep, but Jenkins happens to be nearby as well as New Shot here on the Night Stalker, and Limp will go down. First blood for Jenkins as a result of that. So Viper going really deep.
yeah, he was definitely not expecting Jenkins to be there. That totally caught him off guard.
Now Kyle's going to be slowing down, sticking napalm charges applied by Batrider. Running at him.
One, though. No Firefly.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's only half a level here. So, not really in much danger. Just going to be annoyingly harassed, meanwhile. But, yeah, so for the middle, though, Limp, again, he ports back in and he continues his CS. So he's still doing very good when it comes to CS here, but giving up the first blood there, a little unfortunate. Night Stalker will rotate back in. It's not nighttime yet, still a minute and a half for that.
Z-Freak, though, running at Sammy Boy. Is he going to get him here? Yeah, he does.
Oh, jeez. What? Okay. I saw the movement that way. I didn't think he was going to be able to run him all the way down, though. Jeez, yeah, he just chases him and eventually gets a kill. So, Bloodseeker, he's having a difficult time even staying in the lane early on in the game. Hopefully that tilt factor is not necessarily coming into play for the sake of Leviathan. In fact, Bloodseeker ports to the shrine, and he's just going to jungle now. So he's not even going to be in the lane at this point. He's kind of giving up on it.
Yeah, even though they did all right punishing the Viper for the deep dive, at this point there's so little he can do.
Oof.
Like, Limp's got such a big lead on him, so they're just going to give some XP here to Nusham and let him jungle.
That's the plan, but yeah, Limp is just going to really go off now if he wasn't already when it comes to CS. Hope the Bloodseeker sick, I was going to say, he's probably going to want to go Narian Talon here now, especially, and sure enough, he has that in his stash ready to be delivered. Once the courier's
This is
ready.
really bad, though, for them. With them not having any real mid lane presence, it's going to let Limp totally free farm and put a lot of pressure on this mid tower. If they can get this mid tower early, that's going to let him roam a lot and just start working on other buildings.
And then you have Underlord bottom lane. Ever since this rotation especially, Moo's been doing fantastic. He's up there with Limp as far as top CS in the game. He's 23 and 10. He has boots. He has a magic stick. He's going to finish Arcane boots here very soon. And he's also just getting all the solo experience. We talked about he's getting an early start for him. coL, by the way, top lane. It's nighttime now, and they take advantage of it. It's a good job by Leviathan there, making use of the Night Stalker and chasing down Ancient Apparition. Here at the top, but Chessie might be in trouble. They're really going to dive this. Courier's even coming in. That's a lot on the Courier. You be careful not to get that killed. He's going to have to man fight, but using the illusion also kind of box him in. And yeah, Chessie will also go down, so great pressure being applied here.
And Kyle's going to die again.
And he is probably dead again. Void comes out. There you go. It's a level 2 Void. Double kill for Nushim, and now Leviathan, they're looking good all of a sudden. Well, they'll lose Silencer, but...
Yeah, and good's still a relative term. Complexity's still with the gold lead here. That was very nice, and the reason that can happen is because Complexity has essentially no hard stuns in their entire safe lane. There's no actual way to peel somebody off if they really want to commit to you. And with Night Stalker making good advantage of this first night, he does have full phase boots up now. So that means Kyle is just food for him anytime he finds him here.
You got Arcane Boots just finished here on Moo, meanwhile, at the bottom lane. Kind of go back to the Underlord, and looking forward to seeing him start being more involved in the game, especially as he gets these next couple of levels. Chessie again top lane, could be in some trouble. He got silenced up before he could use the Rage, and he's going to end up falling. Here comes Moo, but obviously he got here way too late, so they just keep up this pressure. Man, you talked about the 4 position being very low to no impact last game for Leviathan, almost like they heard you, and this Night Stalker now is being high impact, controlling the pace of the game here.
Yeah, the 4 role's by far the most important role in Dota right now, and we can see why very, very clearly. And Moo TPing there wasn't even really to help; it was just to take the lane back. Like, Moo has no points in pit, and he's probably not going to till level 9, level 10.
It's even jungling
that is
now.
A huge stack.
Yeah, he's going to take advantage of that. So he's liking what's been going on up here at the top lane. Middle lane, meanwhile, dive on a Silencer. You see Jenkins nearby. He's only level 5, though. So no lasso, but that burn's going to be enough damage. They do take out Silencer, but it comes at a cost, obviously. Now Limp, he's on the run. Bloodseeker in pursuit. Blood right hits, but Viper is very tanky. Level 3 corrosive skin. And the Fairy Fire used to ultimately stay alive right there. Pops the salve even shortly after.
I'm so happy Limp's going a tankier build, too. He's going a Rush Helm of Dom. I like this so much better than the Dragonlance, Yasha, Maelstrom type Vipers. This is just so hard to bring down. He's such a nuisance. And yeah, he's going to be near unkillable as soon as he finishes this full Dom.
You see Z-Freak, Infernal Blades, the Silencer right there, and then runs back. Nusham coming in, looking to apply pressure to Underlord. He's kind of beefy here, but it's definitely not unkillable. Z-Freak's going to assist Scorched Earth. That's not going to do much, though, in the end. They do kill Underlord, so Night Stalker continues to be so useful. The Infernal Blade on him, however, will finally get him killed. That's a 3-kill streak stopper in favor of Z-Freak. Nice little bounty extra for him, 331 gold. And we will go back to farming, continuing to work towards that Dragonlance now with the Ring of Akil already finished. But again, the pace as far as hero kills is concerned, definitely keeping up for Leviathan. However, when it comes to overall net worth and CSing here, Complexity is doing pretty damn good. It's kind of a give and take. Huh. He actually used his ulti to get back to the bottom lane because he didn't have TP. I guess he's not going to be planning to use that for the next couple of minutes anyway, so.
There's so few uses for this early game. It's either a way out or a way in, and that's a pretty good use of it, honestly. Ooh, this is a hard kill. You have potential with net, though.
Oh, you're right. After the Shikuchi here?
Yeah, you need him to commit one more skill, though. That's the problem. If he throws bugs so he doesn't have time-lapse mana...
Oh, now he does, but that's because they're going for the kill. In fact, Underlord probably wishes he had the ultimate now. I mean, he's silenced out, to be fair, so they're going to kill Silencer. But they do kill Underlord in response and ends up being the
Doom's
1-for-1.
Now.
He's level 6. Not going to be it.
Thought Z-Freak was going to just go run at somebody with the Doom.
Oh, BSG. Oh, did he just time-lapse back? Yeah, I was like, wait, where did he go?
Yeah, he just went and bought items.
So he TPs in, he time-lapse backs to bottom, and here to
The
continue farm.
efficiency, man.
Yeah.
The efficiency.
It's good.
It was essentially 150 gold TP was what it was, because he bought a salve and he bought a clarity as well. So he spent an extra 150 gold to TP back.
For a shrine use, almost.
Yeah, essentially.
That's the way to look at it. And a 60-second cooldown on that ultimate, but probably not going to come into play here. Wrap around middle lane, keeping up the pressure. That Satyr, of course, not going to see this. So can they catch
Am I the only
Limp?
one that thinks this Bloodseeker cosmetic looks like a Complexity logo?
Now that you mentioned that, I can't take my eyes off it. Anyways, Bloodright comes out, and speaking of Bloodseekers, Sammy Boy, credit for the kill there. Damn tanky, level 3 corrosive skin as mentioned before, but he does get taken out here. A 4-man gank, so you are so right, though. That's hilarious.
Yeah. This is going to give Kyle some free XP. Going to be pushing his way towards level 6. That's 5, and with the tome, he'll be right at the border of 6.
That's obviously an important kill if you're Leviathan, so the movement continues, and right on cue, back to the bottom lane now. Underlord, he's going to be run down, but he'll be fine. Comes back to Dave, and it was just Nightstalker running after. And speaking of running after, Sammy Boy's being run after, and the Scorched Earth eventually ticking him down. Doom right there. Didn't even have to commit his ultimate. Simply able to just run in there with an Inferno Blade and do the job, so at least they get the turn kill.
Z-Freak needs to put something in his quick buy. I'm wondering if he's just holding on for Blink at this point, but he's having so many mana problems. He hasn't gotten to use Doom yet because it costs so much mana to use everything else he has. I was wondering if he's going to pick up some early drums or something like that just to subsidize his pool a little bit, give him a little extra mana.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment, still haven't gotten to see a Doom be used.
It is a good item on a hero like Doom as well, and again, it fits the theme of complexity usually, so I am a little surprised he's not going for that, going the Blade Mail currently as his choice. But AA, he's going to be gone on, Ruptures on him. He's just going to Ice Blast in the face. It hits Weaver, but Weaver already time-lapsed, actually, so if Z-Freak gets in range for that Doom, they are going to kill AA in the end, of course.
It still wouldn't have been enough. Weaver has a lot of HP. Going this first item, Dragonlance, makes your HP pool a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Sitting at 1100 right now. Doom level 1 does not do that much damage. It's mostly just a 16-second silence.
Well, unable to make use of it. Anyways, an Underlord, he's just going to be harassed a little bit, but this Underlord now 9.5 and really hasn't been involved with the team just yet. I mean, we're 11.5 minutes in. Is there kind of a timing where you're like, okay, you're Underlord, let's go ahead and make some plays with, or is this fine how he's just static farming? As he's going to be lassoed here, by the way, and this is probably going to be a kill on him. Unless, no. He could have Dark Rifted there at the beginning after the lasso. Might not have been.
He could have rifted instead of TPing, and it would have worked. Because then the lasso would still let the channel time keep going.
True.
And he just would have vanished out. But
Tower is
yeah,
under attack.
if he has a timing, it's usually when he finishes one full tank item. And he's still not even to his hood yet, nevertheless a full pipe. So he's got a while yet where he's going to want to farm.
Again, Z-Freak going in. They are going to get the kill, so that's good, but Doom had to really commit for that, and you see the backfire as Weaver and Nightstalker come in to get the turn kill. Now Viper, he's running away. Here comes Underlord. You hear it at least. Eventually he's going to appear, but it just takes forever at this early level. Nice Ice Blast, but the time lapse immediately from Weaver. And he'll end up surviving, actually. So another find on Limp. 13-7 hero kill lead, and it's a slight net worth lead for complexity, but it feels pretty good for Leviathan right now.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah. I'm feeling good about where they're at. They have tempo finally for the first time in a game. They're not getting any net worth, but they're very clearly controlling the pace of the game right now.
I really think Newsham heard you, man. This dude is,
man, he is one of my, he's a buddy of mine, and if he was listening to the stream between games, definitely could have.
he is 13 of the 14 kills he's been involved in. That's a big kill on Jenkins there. A nice streak stopper. Z-Freak gets credit for that one. But yeah, I mean, he is just moving from lane to lane, setting up all of these kills. Without him, it's probably not happening. So obviously Nightstalker in general is a great hero for that, but you have to execute. And he's doing a hell of a job at it, so credit to him. And Viper's just going to try to jungle here. He's going to be spotted by Nightstalker. Well, they try to rotate in here. Oh, you see he's using the Mud Golem to spot any incoming. He's going to see them, so yeah, he'll be fine. Or will he? I mean, He has to be a little bit careful here still, but probably not going to dive too deep for this.
Yeah.
He's just going to body with the mud golem here.
It's just kind of odd because Chessie, honestly, is so far behind. They're not getting any impact out of him. He's 0-3-0. Hasn't been a part of anything so far in this game, and he's still not even to his armlet. I'm just kind of wondering, like you were talking about with Mu, though, when is Complexity as a team's go timer?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? It's again, their play style, and you second pick an Underlord. It feels like that's going to be your theme of the lineup in general. Underlord pushed to the middle lane right here. He's going to be scienced up. He does have the Hood of Defiance, so he's a little beefier now as coL already threw out the Ice Blast. Rupture, meanwhile, on Doom. Global Science as well. The Blade Mail is going to reflect some damage here, but Doom's going to go down. He still hasn't used his ultimate once in this game. Now, Lifestealer sitting on top of Silencer at least. Gets a kill on him. AA is picked off, though. As Night Stalker credit for the kill there, and he's just going to keep on running. Still on the outside of Viper.
Every fight swinging Leviathan's way, but Complexity out-farming them across the map. The gold's still basically tied. And there have been no real objectives taken. Each team's gotten a T1. I guess mid T1 did finally fall for Leviathan's side, but it's not like one team is running over this game right now. It's looking very Leviathan favored, but the gold says otherwise.
Especially because there's no like great infest target for Lifestealer. Do you think you could argue that? Oh, he's gonna be gone again. By the way, the Blood Ride's gonna send him after too. Don't think they have enough damage though, unless they rupture. Yes, they do. And he tries to armlet toggle play there. That's not gonna work.
That was super close. If he got the wounds armlet wand off at the same time, he might have been able to wait for some help. But
so
yeah,
what I was getting at though, like, was armlet the choice here? I know it's your usual choice, but with the way this game's going, and again, you don't really have that natural Lifestealer vehicle. Was that the best choice here?
The only alternative would have been S&Y, and I think armlet's still fine. It's a lot of damage in team fights. All you gotta do is get to somebody. And Doom does have a blink queued up, so that will be his delivery method at some point.
I'm almost thinking, though, even more along the lines of, what about like a farming tool? Hannah Midas, I know you just usually hate that item. Or what about even a Battle Fury? You know, like...
Maybe Maelstrom. I maybe could have been okay with Maelstrom. It's just better than Battle Fury right now in almost every case.
Okay.
But, yeah, armlet also just makes you so tanky, though. Like, those tank stats cannot be undervalued.
I can't get over, though, and it goes back to your point earlier that Doom here, he is still yet to... Maybe he has used his ultimate once, but we really yet to see, you know, the really big one here. And it might come into play, but again, he's going to be global sized up. Brings in the Infest Bomb as well. Underlord is dropping through that fire as he's standing in it still. He's going to barely stay alive. They are able to take out the Bloodseeker, though. That root of Underlord with the Pit of Malice was huge. Right there.
Mu had to play this super tight game of get out of the Firefly, but don't die to Rupture.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Hit that hold button, man.
Oh, man. Does manage to sneak his way out, though, and that's huge. That's a 2-for-0 with a bunch of ults committed.
Gets out. Chessie will continue to push out the bottom lane, but, yeah, for maybe not the first time, but Complexity in a little bit here, they actually win kind of an exchange. And it feels a good moment for them. Viper is finding more farm, and not only did he get that Corrosive Skin, level 4, he has the Helm of the Dominator you mentioned earlier, and then now he has a Hood of Defiance on top of that. So he really is going all out on this. I'm going to be a tank here.
This is the competitive Underlord build. There are no other builds.
Or, I was talking about Viper there.
Oh, Viper, sorry.
Yeah. He also has a Hood of Defiance.
I just saw Hood, and I'm like, oh, that's, yeah. But no, this is just the way they want to play the game, though. They're trying to just get super tanky and unkillable. And at a certain point, if Weaver's not damaging you and you don't really have to move if you get ruptured because they don't have enough damage, you just win the fight by default. The X factor in this, though, is look at Silencer. He's sitting at 18 bonus int already at 18 minutes. If he keeps progressing like this, he's going to actually be a sizable force of damage. And Glaives are pure. They'll slice through any sort of corrosive skin or magic res you have. And it could be a huge X factor in these team fights.
I'm going to jump on Underlord right here. Maybe not the easiest target to kill. He throws down a Pit of Malice. He's going to be pushed back by the Flame Break. Here comes Viper now. Ice Blast also coming out. Inferno Blade on the back left on the Silencer. They do kill Underlord. Batrider staying along the line. Over to the left here. They're not going to chase after him. The Tier 1 tower, of course, still up. So A beefy target
Okay.
right there in Underlord, but they do manage to do enough damage.
Yeah, if that mech was actually on him at the time, I don't even think they kill him there. But
It's being delivered, yeah.
this is the alternative, the old school delivery method for Lifestealer. You jump in a Granite Golem that's magic immune, and then you just waddle your way to the front of the fight.
Okay. Yeah, we see right there, using that actually opens up with the open wounds on a Silencer. That was a Silencer getting a little too curious what that Golem was about.
Like, were you around for the meme Lifestealer build? It actually saw competitive play for a while where he rushed a Radiance.
The whole Ags, or just the Radiance itself, and he jumps in a creep?
Yeah, he'd go Radiance and like Vlad's into AC, just a bunch of auras, and just stay in the Granite Golem.
Okay.
And you used to you couldn't kill the thing. If you didn't have a ton of physical damage, he'd just stand behind a tower and you'd just die to Radiance ticks if you tried to fight him.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit before my time, but I've also heard about this whole, where you get like a Pudge, and then you have like the axe on him, and you just do like something with the Radiance as well. It's just crazy.
The jumping in Granite Golems with Radiance thing actually saw a competitive play for like a full month. It was terrible. It was by far one of the worst totem metas.
It's one of those terrible yet great things.
Yeah.
Doom?
All right.
He brings
Z-Freak needs to get to this. Yeah, he needs to get to this Blink. Like, this is a core item for them with the way they want to play this game out. And we'll have it as soon as this Devour goes through. Lifestealer's already inside of him.
Yeah, he's just trying to act like he's just farming, you know, trying to finish that item right here, but I don't know if anyone's going to be really jumping him at this rate. How's Weaver been? Man, Weaver is looking really good. He's got a Diffusal Blade now to go with that Dragonlance. Where's Underlord going? He's going somewhere. Right here, he's kind of teasing them, it looked like, at the bottom. I'm not sure what that was about. He had full life. He wasn't being engaged or anything. He just simply ports back to base with the ultimate. So he's we've yet to see that really used as an escape tool or even that initiatives we're talking about. It's instead been more used as a secondary TP for Mu here.
Yeah.
So sure
you
that'll
don't
change,
get to really use it in the fun ways until he's so tanky that if somebody goes on him, he can use the ult and live until it goes off. So a lot of times that means level 18 where it's a shorter time. And that's when you can start moving your team around and doing a little more with it. But early on, it's just hard to find good use. By the way, Firestorm just destroys Roche. Like, this skill is absolutely busted against Roshan.
Oh, it actually, yeah, the effect does work against him with the idea of the percentage. So, max HP burn. He is dying pretty quickly right here, but not quick enough, however. They are going to engage, jump in from Batride. A little bit too early, though, from Jenkins. He goes down. Chessie picks up the Aegis. Global Silence was used by Silencer, but that timing was maybe just a second early right there from Leviathan. If they wait a second longer, you know, who knows what happens there. But, yeah, it was just looked a little funky because of the unfortunate timing.
Yeah. They had ways to check the Roche, though. They had this dominated creep up in the top lane they could have ran in there. BSJ's bugs, like even Blood Right. There's ways they could have gotten Vision of Roche and timed that a little better. So a little bit of maybe some nerves there.
Well, Bloodseeker sitting on his base. Whoa, they're really jumping in here, and they're going to catch Bloodseeker off guard. Did not see that coming. I mean, and neither did Bloodseeker, and I can't blame him. Holy crap.
He was so close to his Radiance, too. He needed like 200 gold.
Jesus, they just jump into the base top lane. Ice Blast is coming in, but you see Weaver and Silencer falling back before. But yeah, Bloodseeker has buyback. Of course, not going to use it right here. You mentioned he is so close to that Radiance, so will be delayed a little bit longer. Kyle's found by Night Stalker and probably... Nope, he's good. Just not enough damage from Night Stalker himself, who also has a Helm of the Dominator, by the way. We didn't really talk about that yet, so that's... Helm of the Dominator's back, baby. At least in the
Again,
NA scene.
if you're doing well and have the gold as a support, it's still a very good item.
Yeah.
It's just too hard to get for most supports, and the stat line isn't the greatest for cores anymore. Like 2 attributes and 10 attack speed is just not that good.
Yeah. Makes sense, but Night Stalker having it for his team. And Viper in this case for the other side, who now has a Yasha finished.
Yeah, I like the Manta pickup just because you need a way to break Crippling Fear, or you're never hitting anything. I'm a bit surprised it's not a Lincoln's, though, because then it also would block Rupture, Lasso. Pretty much everything it blocks is super good. Here's a
Underlord.
defensive ult out of Mu. Yeah,
There you go. Yeah, and there's literally no way you can stop the right. Like not even a Yule stops. It's just going off in his case, right?
Glimpse is about the only way.
Oh, so you
Glimpse him back
and
right
then
as
you
he,
would
like,
right as he
goes,
TPs.
yeah.
Got you. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, other than that, obviously there are some clever play where you kind of force staff the teammates out of it if they're trying to port with them, or force staff Underlord himself in an awkward position. Kind of screw it up, but yeah, for him himself, he's pretty much always going to go back. As long as you don't kill him, of course. You know, you mentioned Lincoln Sphere, and it's just kind of a side thing here. You're casting some of my former Han peeps, so kind of relate to it a little bit as, well, hold that thought, because Night Stalker's going to be jumped right here, and that's going to be a free kill on him, so good find there, as he was trying to solo pressure this middle tower. But the idea that in Han, the global abilities such as Global Silence are actually blocked by Lincoln Sphere in the equivalent.
It worked that way in Dota for a long time, too. I actually said it on a cast like 6 months ago and had to go back and double check, but they did get that taken out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It worked because the way those abilities are coded in Han and old Dota was Global would spawn a silencer on you, like an invisible silencer that casts a silence spell directly on you. So it was technically a single target. And then it would proc from those.
Yeah. Yep.
Not on spaghetti code anymore.
I remember
so
making that
actually
comment
have new
in
reactions.
my earlier casting at Dota a year ago. It's like, yeah, no, the Link is going to be able to block Global Silence. And there was other chat or something was like, no, that doesn't work that way. I'm like, oh, like, okay. It is different.
My favorite was my favorite coding was Sunstrike, because it would spawn a Lina on top of you that did a Light Strike array that stunned you for 0 seconds for a flat amount of pure damage. That was how they had to code it to make Sunstrike work.
In the original Dota or Dota 2?
Yeah, in Dota 1.
Okay.
In Dota 1.
Yeah, that's a lot of funky stuff. Was done in that game, man, in its infancy, but obviously for the better.
Oh, we're
Fill
in
up
good
this
shape
great
now.
game here. Yes, yes, we are.
Radiant's
Right, top
is
tower
under
pushed
attack.
though from Complexity coming out on the secondary tower. Again, you see Bloodseeker does finish the Radiance. Now has his own Lincolns queued up, sure enough. Right here, but it's going to be a ways off. Oh, Doom, he's not afraid to go in, man, using that stomp of the Centaur.
Good global.
Global, though, preventing a lot of the follow-up and preventing the Doom itself. And now Z-Freak, he's in trouble. He's going to end up going down right here. Jenkins got a little bit too close. The cold feet's going to be taken off, though. They will pick off Silencer in the midst of that. He's already done his job, though. Pit of Malice just misses BSJ. He still has time lapse, by the way. He's going to have to use it right here. Go the other direction. The Stomp's going to miss from the Centaur. And BSJ will be able to squirm on out of there.
Yeah, the global entirely stopped Ice Blast, too. He'd already started the cast, and he couldn't recast it, so he couldn't get it off.
Oop, that's an Aegis reclaim as well.
That might back Complexity up, actually.
Yeah, as soon as you hear that, they do start falling back. It seems like the smoke attempt from Kyle is just a little bit too close, though. And they really are trying to retreat out of this now. Portal is ready, or Dark Rift, excuse me, from the Underlord. If they want, oh, no, never mind. All his mana's gone now, so using the combo there instead. But it's not going to really backfire because it seems like Leviathan doesn't want to overcommit either, so.
It's just, who do you commit on there? Yeah, you win on Moo. You're not killing Moo. So if he gets to stand tall and just beat on you, there's so little you can actually do in the back line of that fight. And this is what Underlord brings to the table. He's just a wall. And right now he's a very good wall.
Yeah, he's got the full Guardian Greaves, the pipe. Now he has a Rod of Atos coming along.
All the roots.
Yeah, gonna have more roots to work with. Obviously, that's definitely something that they could use here. Mentioned from the beginning, their lack of crowd control is definitely a little bit noticeable. I mean, other than Doom having the Centaur Stomp last fight right there, he actually has a Purge Creep now, which in its own right is obviously a good tool. In fact, gonna try to use it right here maybe.
Purge is pretty dirty.
Infernal Blade. Somebody's that Star Portal coming in somewhere. But yeah, Silencer, no chance. Oh, that's where it
pretty
is.
sure Satyr purges last word off of you too. Probably could have purged himself there.
Huh. Can you actually? So you can purge yourself with that?
You can purge allies for sure. I think you can self purge.
Okay. Yeah, if you can purge allies, then that would make sense. Why not? Can't do that with the Fusel Blade anymore.
Nope, you cannot.
Lifestealer, Echo
Limp is
Saber.
huge, and like he finished this Manta and he has another 3.3k already. I'm wondering where he's gonna go with this. Whether he's gonna choose to continue tanking up in the form of Lincoln's BKB. Yeah, BKB queued up now. Okay. He's just going to be impossible. So hard to bring down. It's kind of a weird turn of events, but it's almost going to come down a lot to the Silencer and him dealing damage. I actually want Nushim to start buying some wards and let Silencer get items here.
Yeah. 20 intelligence stolen now. You mentioned the pure damage that the Glaives of Wisdom bring, so trying to transition him into a later game carry could definitely be a solid choice here from Leviathan, but for the time being, they're going to try to grab Underlord, but same story. He's a very tanky target. The pipe pop, he still has, no, he does not have Dark Rift actually, but he gets plenty of support, and now Nusham is going to be picked off most likely. The Infernal Blade on Silencer right there. The slow of Viper slowing down Night Stalker enough, gets that kill. And Master Kenshiro eventually going to tick down to the Scorched Earth over here. We see Jenkins able to TP out. Weaver just trying to simply farm against the Viper right here while all that's going on. He just continues to run, but clearly a fight in favor of complexity. That's what happens, though, when you try to jump a beefy Underlord like they did. Not your ideal lasso target here for Leviathan.
No. Definitely not. And Complexity's positioning has made it so he's about the only lasso target. They've done very well at making sure he's the one in front. He's the only one you can go on.
That's a kill on Bloodseeker. He's dead for 50 seconds. He does have a buyback. They come in with the Ancient Creep, and now the nice transition into the Tier 3 tower push. So Complexity going to try to break the base right here. Bloodseeker, smoke coming out.
Kyle.
It's the second time he's done that. I don't know if that's misclick or him just kind of trolling even.
They're missing creeps here, though, so this is going to stall this push out for a little while. Got him about 5-6 seconds there, backdoor.
Was he maybe trying to disjoint something there, to be fair? Because I know that you can kind of do some creative things with that. Anyways, Underlord going to be jumped on again. It's not the ideal target. They're going to bring him way back. He still has a pipe, though, even the Pit of Malice hitting 3 heroes. And Sammy Boy's going to be run down. That's a dieback for him right now. 60 seconds before he's coming back up. Silencer goes down. And Complexity going to at least get a Rax out of this now. When will Leviathan learn? Well, Z-Freak actually is going to fall, so they kill him. There goes the Dark Portal. Can they at least kill the range racks? No.
They don't need to.
They don't need to.
Range racks.
They got melee.
All right, still wondering. Just curious. Has Doom used Doom this game?
I thought he did very early on once for like a free kill, but other than that, I don't think he has. I don't know. I don't remember seeing it because, yeah, every time it seems like he jumps in, he just gets killed himself, so. If he goes too deep.
I mean, it's working. They're winning, but it's just kind of funny.
Maybe Z-Freak forgot that's how the hero works, you know? He forgot that there's an ability for Doom called Doom.
He's making the hero work. I got no complaints with how he's played. It's just kind of funny.
That is pretty silly. Because, yeah, now that you mentioned it, I really don't think I've seen it. If not the one time. But 31 minutes into the game, you'd hope that it's been more than that.
Man, Kyle's so meta right now. Just the naked buckler. If you haven't noticed this, the cooldown actually is shorter than the duration. You can keep a wave of creeps perma-bucklered.
Oh, yeah.
And it does actually help push.
No, and again, he'll do stuff like this where it's just get as many team fight items as possible. I would not be surprised to see if Vlad's come out here in the near future or something like that. I mean, just get it all if you can. In fact, Lotus Orb coming along for Underlord at this point, and there's the free Roshan kill meanwhile happening, and Aegis picked up by Limp on the Viper, and now he has that butterfly. He thought he was a tough target to kill already. Got to kill him twice now.
Yeah, that butterfly pickup's huge. There's just so little that they can even do on this Leviathan side now. They had a nice tempo in the early game. They were taking fights. They were pushing people in and moving the team around, but their damage is just not there. I do have to give props to BSJ, though. We saw Weaver twice yesterday, and both times it was a miserable failure. This time, he itemized Dragonlance first into a Lincoln, and he's kept his farm up. He actually has a very good item progression for this stage of the game.
Yeah, I was actually looking at it myself, so great minds think alike, I guess. 4-0 and 8 this game as well. He definitely is doing very good for Leviathan, and he's a reason, if anything, why you still kind of give Leviathan a shot here in this game, but at the same time, we're dealing with a Viper that's really beefy. We're dealing with Lifestealer who's, I mean, he's pretty tanky himself, let's be honest, especially jumping inside creeps. Obviously, this isn't a free, get kill on Weaver game and then get out, other than maybe Ancient Apparition here. So, Silencer is going to be picked up. Underlord porting in, by the way, on top of that small Satyr. And now they're actually going to root up a couple. They catch Bloodseeker included. That Radiance has just felt like it's done nothing this game for him, unfortunately, and Well, Weaver's pushing top lane, but his base is going to be pushed in now.
Only if they get this bottom wave.
Maybe not. Yeah, you're right.
Is under attack.
Okay, well, actually, no. Weaver's applying pressure to the tier 3, so Complexity in an awkward spot. Do they get back here? I mean, now that no more back door.
No, you just trade. You're up this far. There's still T2s left in the other lane. A trade for you is okay.
He used Doom. He did it.
Yay!
He knows about the ability.
Radiant's middle barracks are under
It's not going to be a kill, but it will keep Weaver off. Can he stop Nightstalker here? No. Nightstalker gets out too. Meanwhile, though, the middle base is destroyed, and Weaver obviously makes his way back.
Radiant's top tower
So
is
last
falling.
stand hold here for Leviathan. Complexity trying to take the series 2 games to nothing here with the final push and advance on to the next round here. The Starladder I-League North American qualifiers on the verge of Mega Creeps. Global Science comes out. It doesn't matter, though. Underlord is beating in the face of Science here. The Atrophiora charge is also adding up right here. Viper, you see they're trying to focus fire him. He just can't kill him, though. Finally take him out, but that's right. He has the Aegis, so he's coming back up. GG, well played, Scald. It is official. Game 2 and the series will go to Complexity, so a better effort definitely from Leviathan here. But in the end, it's still just too much from Complexity. I mean, BSJ finishes the game 4-0-8, so he actually didn't die despite a losing effort. Not often you see that.
It's like the reverse Malco word, a deathless loss. It just feels bad. But yeah, a better showing from them. They actually made some moves in the early game, but that's Complexity's competitive experience coming out there. Even though they hemorrhaged their early game with kills, they were still farming, and that gold they acquired during the farming stage let them get to the point where they were going to just take over the game. So good showing out of Complexity. A little glimmer of hope there at the end from Leviathan, and gonna have to see what they can do moving forward.
Yeah, that's going to be a victory for Complexity, advancing onto the playoffs here. So, as mentioned, though, Leviathan still in it. Double elimination tournament, so they still have something to look forward to throughout this week as far as the Starladder I-League Invitational. But with all of that said, only one of these teams moving on. This is just what continues to impress me about so many of these events going on. You kind of remind yourself every time, it's like, that's right, only one of these teams actually advances on to what would then be the LAN itself. And you got great competition here in North America, just like most, if not all, the regions. And you got your favorite team, so it's good seeing teams like a Leviathan, compete in this, but it seems that they're competing in it just for the sake of getting that more experience and see what they can make happen. But it's going to be a tough, tough journey. Complexity trying to make that journey a reality, and they're going to play the winner of what would be Evil Geniuses versus Blue Pikachu, which is going to be coming up next year on our stream, as mentioned. But unfortunately, it's going to be about an hour and a half away because how quickly this one finished. So we do have a little bit of a break here. And with that said, with it being an hour and a half, I do think we are going to shut down the stream for now. But at 6 p.m. Eastern, what is midnight Central European time, I believe, actually, is when Evil Geniuses versus Blue Pikachu will be taking place. There is also going to be another match happening at the same time, actually. There will be a loser's bracket matchup taking place of Immortals versus Digital Chaos. So actually a very good matchup there. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. And it will be casted by you go to the 2 stream of this, so Dota Starladder _EN2. That'll be casted as well over there. So that should be a good one. But again, we're going to be casting Evil Geniuses, making their debut here of the new season against Blue Pikachu. So, Z-Rock, anything else before we wrap up for now?
Nope.
Short and simple. Like it. All right, guys. That's going to do it for now. Complexity moving on. Leviathan still alive. Just has to make a journey through the loser's bracket now. So, going to shut down the stream for now. We'll see you, Evil Geniuses, Blue Pikachu, in about an hour and a half from now. Until then, guys.